Hello everybody. I've had a couple of requests to do a step-by-step tutorial on how I create my laminated covers for my little planner journals, and today I am actually going to show this process using a 1940s vintage Easter wrapping paper. Ordinarily, of course, I would use a double-sided scrapbook paper, but after I ran this through the laminate, the paper was a little bit too thin, really, and it kind of made some warped areas in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. So if you have a thinner paper and you're using the 5mm laminate, which is the Scotch laminate, I'm using the laminator here, the heat laminate. It has the 3mm and 5mm option. I have used both. I just prefer the 5 for the covers, just because it is a little bit more sturdy. So I wanted to go back and redo this and step this out and show y'all. So I will just keep this and make something cute for myself out of this one, because it is, you can see how it kind of the laminate kind of bubbled up a little bit, or didn't get really smooth, and I think it's because the paper is just so thin. So I'm actually going to show y'all, I'm going to redo this, but I'm putting a matching coordinating cardstock on the back. This is just a regular textured cardstock that I am going to put on the back of this. This is the roll of wrapping paper. I actually got this on eBay. I actually went ahead and cut my scrapbook paper, and I cut these just a little bit bigger than 6 inches tall, so not quite 6 1/8. It's probably about right, probably about 6 1/8, and then 11 inches across. And the reason for the 11 inches is because that is the maximum that you can do in the laminate sheets like this. Now I think you can buy the rolls of the laminate if you wanted to do it that way, but I have a bundle of these sheets, so that's just kind of how I go about doing that. Now after I cut my cardstock down, I did put a backing of the scrapbook adhesives double-sided adhesive sheet on the back, and I'm going to use that. It's already on here. So I'm just going to roll this out a little bit here and try to be careful not to make any creases in this paper. Trim around this a little bit. And because my pink paper is exact, that will give me a good guide to follow. So I'm just going to carefully cut that out. And you'll hear my laminator heating up in the background, and it is now to a blue light. So just as soon as I get this cut out and inside the laminate sheet, I will be able to start laminating this. Okay, so that is on there. And that's how it looks on the front, so that looks really good. Now, the next step that you'll want to do is corner around your edges if you so desire to do that. I like to use the 1/4 inch on my corner chomper, and so I will do that before placing that into the sheet. Okay. Another thing that I like to do before placing it in the laminate sheet is I like to go ahead and figure my score lines. It just helps to make it a little bit easier to fold when you get that laminate on there. So this will go ahead and give my lines. Of course, this is 11, and I usually like my cover to be about 5 inches because most of my books and pages are a little bit more than 4 inches wide, so it gives you just enough room to make sure that all of the inner pages are tucked inside of the book. So let me grab a scoring tool here. So I'm going to score at 5. This will just help to make a memory in the paper when you go ahead and score this before putting it into the laminate sheet. And then I'm going to turn and I'm going to score again at 5. This gives you a 1 inch spine. So when you get ready to start punching your holes for the cording, you will work within that part right there. So I go ahead and kind of break this down, just carefully kind of fold that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck this into the laminate sheet, and I move it all the way up to the top. It doesn't really matter which side you put it on. Both sides are going to end up being the same finish, so they're both going to be, you know, really shiny. And you'll notice you have a little bit left over there, so if you want to move it to get it centered, you can do that, or you can come back and trim it off, just however you want to do that. So I try to get it centered where I've got enough around all the 3 sides. And of course I had this left over at the bottom. This is a good time if you have die cuts that you want to put in there and die cut. The album that I did, the other one that I showed you, the other cover, I took the little die cuts and ran those through there. So don't let that go to waste, but for today I don't really have anything to put in there, so we're just going to go ahead and proceed. Now I don't score just yet through the laminate. I will go ahead and run this through there right quick. So let me bring this forward. Again, it is ready. The blue light is on. I have the 5mm selected, and then one last time before I get ready to run this through, I'll make sure everything is centered the way I want it inside the sheet. My little back end is up right here, and the trick to this is you start with the end that is sealed at the bottom. Okay, place item inside the pouch, insert sealed end of pouch into the laminator. So that's what we're doing. Just try to place it in there as straight as you can, and then it just kind of self-feeds. But I still hold on to it just a little bit just to make sure that it doesn't get wonky inside of the laminator. And it just takes a few seconds, and it does come out pretty warm, so if you have little ones who are using the laminator, I would make sure that I did this part until it cools off a little bit. Okay, it's still pretty warm, but I think this will work so much better. It came out so much more smooth on the back doing it that way than it did the other way, so you'll see how nice and smooth that is. It's not picking up any of those wavy. Again, this is how it was without the paper on the back. It's very wavy, and this is very smooth. Trimmer and trim this edge off. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch on the edge of that, so it matches with the other. Plus, you don't want to break that seal around. There is kind of a natural seal, and you can see it. And if you cut past that, then you will break the laminate, the seal on that, and it can peel apart. So you just be careful you give it enough room on the side when you do that. Okay, so there's that. Now I will place this back onto my scoreboard, and of course you're going to have a little bit, you're going to have those edges on here, so you won't be able to line it up the exact same way, but I just find where that first score line was, and then just line it back up with another and press down. I need to press pretty hard, give it a couple of goes to really break through that laminate. Okay, I'll do that a few times, and then repeat with the other side. Just kind of walking that through there. Okay, so there is the cover. There is our spine. And of course you'll come back and corner around the edges of this. Let's see. I have a setting on here. So this is about, so I've got about 3. It's going to be halfway. So that's for the middle string. And then for the other, I'll just use my 1/8 of an inch hole punch to do the holes at the bottom. So there are your holes in that. Okay, and then I'm using a 2mm elastic. This is just a round elastic cording. I like the Mandela Crafts. I get this from Amazon. Of course, it comes in a big roll, but you can get packs that have different colors, more like a sample pack, if you wanted to do that. But 2mm works really great. This is a good brand because it's not so thick. Now, I have bought other brands that were so thick, or yeah, they just didn't have a good work to them. But you don't want them too thin either. So, my experience, this is a very good brand to use. Okay. So with the tail in one hand, and I don't really cut any off until I get to a certain point. So you will go up through the bottom, starting at the bottom right, come in through the back, go up to the top. And this is just like lacing those cards, if you remember doing that when you were kids. So just kind of like that. So you go in through the top. So that's that way you'll go in through the middle top. So right next door to that. And this is just working in a zigzag. So that is a good way to remember to do this. Okay. And then you'll go down to the middle. Back in through that side there. I don't know, I just save a lot of elastic, but I don't cut anything off. So I kind of tend to either not cut enough or cut too much. So I just gotten to where I just leave it on there. Okay, so this is how it looks right now on the back. You'll see that it's got those loops there and those loops there, and then the two tails hanging out. Okay, so what do you do with those? This is the part where you'll want to use a hole that's big enough, and when you're working with the laminate, you don't have to worry necessarily about the elastic pulling through the paper. So I do like that about using this. So you will go in next door to the hole next to that. So like you have this here, we'll go into that hole there. So and I've got a little bit too much because after I pull this taut, I'm not gonna need that much. Okay. So your tension is about there, and with the laminate too, you don't have to worry about it buckling too bad, but you do want to pull enough tension that your pages aren't going to kind of sag too much when you get the weight of the papers on there. So just pull that enough tension. So you'll go in next to that, and it can be a little tricky if your hole is too small. That's why I like the 1/8 of an inch. So you'll just go in there, and excuse the paint on my hands. My hands are clean. They're just doing some painting yesterday. So that is what that looks like there. Okay, so all of this will come out right there at the middle. So let me just cut a little of this off. And then on the bottom, again, you'll just go in right next to the other. So that is what it ends up looking like. Okay. So after you have that done, you will tie these, and then I'll just trim that off pretty close to the knot. Okay, and then I like to use a lighter and just be very careful when you're using this, because you don't want to melt your laminate. So I just put a little bit of lighter there on the end. Okay, now for the enclosure strap, the rule of thumb of that is you make a loop with your elastic, and you're going to hold the loop down from the center to the edge. When that loop is like touches the bottom of your the book, then you know that that's about where you want your loop to be. So you'll just need enough to make a loop. So I tie off a little bit extra so I can knot that. Okay, I go in through this way just with the loop. Makes it a little bit easier than trying to get two ends through there. So I just poke that through, bring that through to the front, and there it is. You'll see it poking out there, so I know I have plenty of room. And so again, I will grab that other knotted piece, place that right in the center of that, and then just go ahead and give that a knot. Now you can knot that like a twist knot if you wanted to do that, and usually that's the kind of knot that I make, but I don't have quite enough, so this will work fine. So there you go. And when you tie that to that center, it's going to help to keep that from pulling through too. Okay, so you got that over that, and that knot is there on top of that. Just give it a good pull, and again trim that off. Okay, so this is how I do it. There are, of course, other ways that you can do them. So if you see another tutorial, you may bring a couple of ideas together and see which way you like it best. Again, just make sure that you have enough tension pulled out of there so your pages, when they're on, don't make it sag too much. And then that closure just goes right around there. So there is our cover. Okay, so I have now added some pages to the book. So this is what it looks like in the 3 different sections. So inside of there, I just wanted to show you how the different sections come together, and you can do this any way that you want. You can make these as chunky as you want. You make the pages, and a lot of times I'll just go through a pack and grab some scraps, if you have scraps of paper, and then just cut them, as long as they're not too, taller than what your band is here. So I usually do these about, the tallest that I do the pages are about 5.5 inches tall, and then about 4 3/4 when they're folded wide. And then the little notebook in the center, another page there. I get my notebooks from Amazon, and then I just put cover the craft cover with a sheet of cardstock. So that always goes usually in the center, in that center strap there, unless I do 2 notebooks and put one in the front and in the back. But normally I just put one in the front. And then again, one of those prints from Authentique. All of this paper is from Authentique. Then another card. And I haven't finished embellishing these yet. These are just how I stack everything inside of the book. And then another card. And I actually just cut the front of this one out too and just put that on there as well. And then another pocket page. So if you do a pocket page in the front and the back section, you will end up having a total of 4 pockets that you can put tags in. So anyway, that is how I stack everything together, and then I will start embellishing everything.